It's time for a change. We've all heard all the news the last few weeks of OGL this, OGL that. It's finally time for change, for actual change. The big wigs at Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast have decided to somewhat show their hand, releasing all this information of the OGL. I don't want to break down the legalities of it. There are many other channels who have done that over the past few weeks, way more in depth than I even care to go into for this video. But I also think that it's important that those things are understood. The boundaries that have been overstepped by the big wigs is ridiculous. The fact that they expect content to be created, and then if it is created, not owned by those who create it. The OGL has literally protected content creators for 20 plus years, and the fact that that's going to be abolished is a huge shakeup in all of tabletop RPGs, not just D&D. And the fact that things are changing this quickly by just a few announcements and contracts being changed, that weighs heavily on not only our day-to-day gameplay, but also how our groups are formed and how we choose what game we want to play. And if someone like me, a very small creator, but I also support the big creators, you know, I literally have Taldore right here. And to know that things like that from other creators possibly will never be seen, that just is not right. So I make this video hoping that someone or a bunch of people will make the transition with me. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Connor Schweinfurth, aka Rennoc. I made this channel to showcase my campaigns and to show and hopefully inspire others to start storytelling and sharing collaborative storytelling through tabletop RPGs. The fact that D&D has taken that almost away in the ability for me to publish or even create my own homebrew content and to ever hopefully want to publish a book or make a dime off of it, that's now basically out the window. Even if they revert back their statements, they say, nah, we didn't do that. That'll not happen. We're sorry. The legal language was wrong. I still don't trust them. There's going to be this huge movie coming out. There's going to be a TV show that follows it up. And once D&D Beyond has its fangs deep into all of these new players and the current players that are already playing, it's going to be hard for many of them to just pull out. Think of how many books and characters and things have been created on the D&D Beyond app already. Those now just strictly behind a paywall, that's not friendly gaming to me. The ability for Piazza to immediately come out, even owned by Hasbro, and make those statements within the last week saying that they will make their orc. And for those of you that don't know it, I would highly suggest going and look that up. They're going to keep it open. They're going to fight Hasbro if they have to, even in court. And I'm here to support that. I'm switching my whole campaign and everything almost immediately to Pathfinder 2e. Now, I know that there's Matt Colville and Cobalt Press that are both making their own games, but we don't know when those will be released. And if they are released, I don't know if I like them. There's also a possibility that there cannot be anything more detrimental and toxic happening within the D&D community other than Wizards wanting to completely take and control the entirety medium and community that they've not really created. They gave us the rule set, and people like Matt Mercer and Critical Role, and we can go on, have propelled the community over the last 5, 6, 7 years. For my community in Capula moving forward, whether I'm doing a one-shot or even running a full-length year-long campaign, I want to make sure that the content that I create and the content that I could possibly give to my community to use will be able to be used. If I want to create a content page and have it be released, I don't want to have Wizards of the Coast being able to say, hey, you're not allowed to release that. We don't want that content in our game. I can't do anything about it. They'll take it down, and I could possibly not even make money off of it, even if I did want to sell it. Hopefully, content creators will continue to do things exactly like this. Be able to sit here in front of a screen, sit around a table, and play games and do the fun things that we all want to do. I think that decisions that have been made by Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro are going to lead to much more toxic decisions to be made further on. The paywall, the increased greed, it's showing. And once they show their hand, it's only a matter of time before it happens. And once that happens, there's nothing we can do but sit here and just watch it happen. The bottom line is that at the end of the day, the toxic community that is being warped around this drama is not healthy for just D&D. Now, on the flip side of things, this is great for the tabletop RPG community. For those games that aren't under the OGL 1 license or won't be affected by this this will be a good transition period for many of those games to possibly try and snatch up all the new players. Players that are coming into D&D, hearing all this drama, those are new prospects possibly. Or veteran players that are tired of dealing with Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast and know that this is going to be a repeatable thing, nothing's going to change. You're already going to see players making the shift. Now, it's not going to be in droves. D&D is a very popular media and rule set that people play by, but it's going to happen. Myself already is making the change that I'm sure eventually some may as well. But if the OGL really cracks down and has things in it that they've already showed us, more and more will follow. And hopefully the great content creators, as well as some of the community leaders, will be able to do the same thing and follow in those footsteps and take not only tabletop RPGs where they should be and maybe give a variety of a show light except to just one, and be able to prosper all games instead of have one monopoly, which is better for the competitive market regardless. To me, things like this are important. To be able to sit down with friends, sometimes family, and to be able to create content, make content, or just play certain games that we all love, knowing that we're supporting a community and a company that is as interested in our interests as we are. That's important. It's a longevity hobby. Painting models, playing games, collaborative storytelling, that's something that should be cherished. It shouldn't be able to just be slapped on an app, put behind a paywall, and then accepted by everyone. Now, when it comes to creating modules, stories, monsters, NPCs, and that nature, being able to protect what you create is very important. And under the OGL, we were all able to do that. With the new OGL, sounds like all of those things are going to be going out the window. And if we want to be able to create those things, they have to be approved by Hasbro, and we have to abide by certain parameters possibly that they are going to want set on their media. They may not want certain things talked about or even released. The fact that certain art depictions and things are going to be controlled by someone else, even though it's our creations, that just doesn't sit well with me. And hopefully the community sees that. Hopefully many of our dungeon masters, content creators will see that our creative mindset should not be halted or put behind a door or a paywall just to be able to be expressed. And I think that that is very important. To quit my rant, I'm not okay with it. I hope that many of you open your eyes and aren't blinded by what the Wizards of the Coast are going to do. Even if it's not this year, maybe not even next year, it'll come. And with the paywall behind D&D Beyond, I don't see that being good for the game at all. You have to pay, subscribe, just to be able to do it. That's not fun. And then people intrinsically will just have to buy into that app. D&D 1 will become that. Please let me know in the comments below how you feel about this subject, if you are supporting D&D or if you're not. If your group is going to be switching to possibly another tabletop RPG, let me know. I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure to stay safe and happy gaming.